Good morning, everyone. My name is Lee Henson, President and Founder of Agile Dad, and welcome to today's edition of the Daily Stand-Up. Without any further ado, let's get started. Today, I wanted to have a discussion regarding a topic that was sent in from one of our subscribers. I really appreciate these when you email those topics to learn more at agiledad.com. We love to talk about these. This one, in short, says, should a Scrum Master also be a manager? And at first, I have to admit, I was caught off guard by this. But then it went into further detail. It said, please allow me to elaborate. And when it went into the elaboration mode, it started to discuss that as a Scrum Master, this particular individual was being asked to perform reviews and to constantly give status updates, outputs out of the daily stand-up and out of retrospectives. And the expectation was that they would help with budget and finance and dates. And it just seemed like what they were looking for was a cross between a manager and a traditional project manager, but they also wanted someone to facilitate all the meetings. And when this particular individual approached leadership regarding this and asked why this was being done, the explanation to them was that, if you're a Scrum Master, you're supposed to be removing impediments, and these are the impediments that we're facing. We need you to take on these responsibilities so that we don't have to hire additional people in order to solve these complex issues. And this really is an area that raises concern for me, because I don't know that I see this topic going away, and I don't know that I see organizations making the changes necessary in order to support what a Scrum Master really should do. So the question is then, if the Scrum Master should not be a manager, what should they be? And the answer is they should be a third-party advocate or a servant leader. They should be fulfilling three core responsibilities. One, doing everything in their willpower to help the team be successful in releasing a product increment and meeting their sprint goal. Barring it being legal, the Scrum Master should be all over that, making sure that the team has every tool that they need to be successful. Two, they need to make certain that the team has everything that they need to make sure every single increment of product that they release is potentially shippable, that it's something that can add value to what was already there, that they're having the right discussions, that the team is hearing the right information from both the product owner and the stakeholders directly. And third, it's the responsibility of the Scrum Master to either work with, assist, or empower the team to remove impediments. A lot of people think that it's just the Scrum Master's responsibility to remove the impediment, when in actuality, the Scrum Master is more like a governor. The Scrum Master governs teams. They don't manage teams. And when they govern teams, that means they're a representative of what's in the team's best interest, and that they're going to be looking for opportunities to help the team be successful. And that doesn't always mean being an enabler and removing the impediment for the team directly. In many cases, it's even better to allow the team to have a stumble and fall from time to time, just so that they can have those learning opportunities and so that they can become part of the refinement process and so that they can actually be better or best at what they do. All too often, we jump to conclusions or we jump to help the team, and what winds up happening is a period of enablement where the team feels like, oh, well, all we have to do is bring it up and you'll solve it. So we no longer have to worry about solving problems. And this causes grief internally because then the team loses its ability or will to solve problems. And then managers become dependent on that Scrum Master solving those issues. So it's a double-edged sword where no one wins. I think the other thing that I see is the whole idea behind impediment removal. It's amazing to me when I see organizations say, it's an impediment the Scrum Master should always deal with it. I think it's important to bring up all your impediments to Scrum Master, and I think it's important for the Scrum Master to leverage helping, teams remove their impediments. But I don't necessarily think it's 100% their responsibility to do every single time. Now, there are times from time to time where it's a new team or where they need to step in and put their neck on the line. And at that point, the Scrum Master should certainly help in any way that they can. But I don't think that's always the correct answer. The other part that was troubling about this, there's two more parts actually. One was about output from meetings. So whether it's the daily stand-up or a retrospective, anyone who expects for you to take minutes or take notes and report those out to leadership or the managers, that's not the Scrum Master's responsibility either. While it's important for them to understand where their team is and to help and assist them to get that potentially shippable increment, That doesn't mean that they take notes and reports and send those off to leadership, executives, managers. That should never be the case. We want to make sure that the team feels like they're working in an environment of psychological safety, that they have an area where they're being trusted, and that they're confident in their ability to get the job done. I think the third part of this that was disturbing to me, was probably the most disturbing piece, was that the Scrum Master was being asked to evaluate the team, or to give them ratings, or to score team members one against each other. And this is really harmful. It's harmful for the Scrum Master. It's harmful for the team member. It's just not a good practice. When you're supposed to have someone there who's acting as a third-party advocate to help the entire team be successful, pitting that individual up against other individuals within a team, or aligning them in such a way that they're competing with one another, usually is not in anyone's best interest. What winds up happening is you get a whole bunch of upset people because no one knows exactly who may have given a bad report, so to speak, for a particular team member. But it's just so interesting to see that organizations still lean heavily on Scrum Master feedback. One of the rules that I put in place anytime we go and we're doing training is that I want to make sure that organizations understand that it's important to get a Scrum Master's opinion, but I don't know that it's important for them to get a full report. A Scrum Master's input or opinion about how a team's performing is incredibly important, but the Scrum Master should never boil it down to the individual. An individual can be a great contributor one sprint, and the next sprint, maybe they're not as familiar. There's lots of factors that play into it. And I think that if we're just using it to leverage so that you can get a full report on an individual, you're not getting a full value out of what you could be doing with that Scrum Master. So, Scrum Masters, it's your responsibility to help build that internal Agile Center of Excellence and to get the job done. I hope that this addresses your question. If you have a question that you want answered, here's one of the episodes on the Daily Stand-Up podcast. We'd love to hear those recommendations, suggestions, or questions. You could send those to learnmore, LEARNMORE, at agiledad.com, where we'll address each of those. And, of course, you can find more information about this topic and many others on our website at agiledad.com. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.